What's up, everybody? Trinity here. So Thor Love and Thunder is now in theaters. I got a chance to see it on opening night. I guess not even opening night. It was on Thursday, right? Like, it's not opening night. It's technically Friday. I got a chance to see it. I took my kids. I met my friend there. My wife went with us as well. Yeah, she was actually off of work. So we went and seen this as a family. You know, we usually go see it the second time with my wife, usually on like a Sunday or something like that. She was there with us on Thursday night finally, and we went and seen Thor Love and Thunder, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I will be getting into spoilers as well, so if you don't want those, I'll make sure that I let you know when and if I really get into any of those. I honestly probably don't even really have to get into any spoilers to give you my review of this film, which, you know, spoiler alert. Make sure that if you're not already, please make sure you subscribe, click the little bell and all that good stuff. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't. It's okay. Make sure you also let me know how terrible my opinions are down in the comments section. And hey, let me know yours as well. So, Thor Love and Thunder, here's the thing, like, Taika Waititi, there are some things he does so great. Like, one of the things I really like is when Ragnarok came out, like, Mjolnir really became a character in that movie. Like, I felt like Mjolnir was there and like part of the, well, was the action, and was like give us some of that. Like, it almost had a personality at that point. And I really do like that. And that is, again, here in this film, as we once again see Mjolnir is back. And it's pretty cool, kind of how everything goes down with that. And we've also got Stormbreaker in here as well. And Stormbreaker kind of takes on a little bit more personality than Mjolnir, and actually kind of becomes a character, if you will. And I don't know, just some silly Taika Waititi kind of stuff. And again, Taika does something so great. That was one of the things I really liked about Ragnarok. That was like seeing Mjolnir in there, you know, like just seeing some of the action and everything. And it really felt like Mjolnir did more in Thor Ragnarok than we've seen in any of the previous Thor films or even any of the Avengers films. So I really like some of the stuff he does there. And some of the stuff he does cinematically is so great. There are some things in this film that I thought looked really good, minus the use of the volume, because yes, when I was watching this film, in case you guys don't watch me here on this channel, I haven't watched much of my content, the volume, the little sound stage or stagecraft, whatever they call it there, that like Lucasfilm has and they use for their shows and movies, and now Marvel Studios is using here as well. I'm not a fan of it. I really do not like it. It looks literally like they're shooting in front of a TV screen, which, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that what they're pretty much doing? Just shooting in front of a TV screen? I pick it out every time. It just doesn't really ever look great. Luckily in this movie though, there's actually plenty of things that happen here that actually look decent within some of the stuff they shot. But I don't know how much of this they shot in the volume, but there were some scenes in this film that I thought looked very good, even given with the volume and all of that kind of stuff, and my feelings on that. Like, a lot of this is still very well shot. Like I said, and Taika Waititi does some great fun stuff, right? I like that. I do like that. However, I will say, in case you also don't follow me here on the channel and haven't seen much of my reviews or heard any of my thoughts on Taika Waititi, I can't say like I'm a huge fan of I haven't seen really much of his other work, to be quite honest with you. But what he's done in the MCU, I'm not really big on it. Some of the things he does, yes. Maybe if he wasn't writing, it would probably be good. Maybe even if he had some oversight, somebody else had some oversight over him in his directing style and exactly what he's doing. And I guess my biggest complaint, though, with what he's done in overall is what he's done with the character of Thor, where he just kind of became this whole sarcastic sitcom humor Thor. You know, plenty of people out there are like, oh, Thor's finally funny and everything, and you just don't like that. And no, it's not that. It's this whole, like I said, this whole shitty sarcasm, sitcom humor stuff. I just don't dig it. I don't like it. Like The Office was the last time it was done even close to good. All right, like that was it. But like that's kind of the big thing I don't like about what he did with Thor. Is like it's that whole sitcom. Like if I wanted to watch Community or Parks and Rec, I'd go watch it. But you know what? I don't watch it because I don't really like TV shows and I don't really like the shitty sitcom sarcastic humor. Did I just say that like 3 or 4 times right now? Seems to be like a recurring theme. And that's kind of what Taika Waititi does a lot of. And it's especially apparent in this film as we also actually even get like some, not even cameos, I guess, but we actually get some actors in this film playing some small roles here. And this is Melissa McCarthy and Belle and Ben Falcone, her husband. And this like, by this point where you see them in the movie, like I was already just sitting there kind of like, not entertained by this film at all. It just wasn't really like, it was just kind of, we'll get into more of that in a second. But by the time they came out, I'm like, well, this kind of explains things because Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone, I think they're always kind of on the precipice of something maybe good and humorous. Everything falls flat on its face and it's like completely terrible. These people are responsible for some of the worst movies ever. And they make a cameo in this movie, and it kind of lets me know, like, yeah, I'm pretty right on, like, where my diagnosis for this, in my opinion, is with the whole sitcom humor thing. And I'm sure Taika Waititi, I think, has some background in it. Hey, the Russos do too, but they seem to do good. But they also had good writers like Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, some writers who I feel loved the characters that they were writing, and they liked the stories that they were telling, and they weren't just out there using these characters to do whatever stupid sitcom, rom-com movie and get a lot of money from Marvel Studios and make a movie that seems like, you're just putting a skin, these character skins on, over Parks and Rec. That's what, over the same characters. That's it. Hey, we even got Chris Pratt in this, right? Anyway, like, that's kind of what it is. Like, I feel like this movie is a parody of a Thor movie. I feel like it's a parody of Marvel Cinematic Universe. And like by the time I see these people in this film, I'm just like, yeah, it's a parody. And that's just with a lot of those kinds of things. And there's other things that I really do actually like in this film. There are some great things. Like Jane Foster Thor, like I was pretty cool with it. Like I was like, I didn't mind it. The story and everything kind of going like, yeah, cool, great. And there were some things that she did in the movie. Yeah, actually great. Like I said, Mjolnir. We've seen it in the trailer where she uses Mjolnir and it flies off in different pieces and all that stuff. Some very, very cool shit in this movie. Even Stormbreaker, out there just doing Stormbreaker things, I guess. Just some cool stuff. Valkyrie in here, I mean, I kind of wonder why she was in this movie. I mean, it was like, it almost seemed like a cameo role as well. But like I said, there are cameos from, not from other characters, I guess, in this film. Most of them you've already seen in the trailers. But it's kind of beside the point because I feel like, and I've talked about this a lot as well, a lot of these Marvel Cinematic Universe movies here over this last, I guess even the shows as well, here over the last couple of, like, I guess right after Endgame, have all seemed like they're just movies that are leading to another movie or something else going on. It's just leading to the next thing. Because it's part of this big universe. Multiverse now. And that's really what it feels like. Just these things happening with, and here's the thing is like, they're introducing some ideas and concepts and characters and things that I've got theories on that I think are very cool. Actually really great. But the thing is these movies feel like they are all just setting up the next thing. Or if you go back to the Phase 3 films, or the first phase, 3 phases of films, they all feel like they are just standalone movies doing something. And you get that little bit of sprinkle of stuff going on that might play into the larger universe or not. Just an open thread that they can use later, whatever. that was what's so great about him, standalone. Like, these all feel like they're just things going on to lead to the next movie. And this film feels so much like that. And it sucks because I actually feel like a lot of the actors in this film did a great job. Although I feel like, you know what? I'm going. There's a spoiler right here, just for a character. For a character that's in the movie. I wouldn't say is wholly unexpected, but if you don't want to hear what character it is in the movie, skip forward like 5 seconds from right now. Idris Elba, I think he just phoned that shit in. Anyway, he was in there. I'm like, what? Like, come on, man. Like, what is this? And but other than that, I think a lot of the actors did pretty good in this film and what they were doing. I feel like everything that they did in this film, all the actors, I feel like all the work they did for this film kind of just got misused. Like, it got just put together in something that really doesn't make any really kind of comprehensible sense of telling a good story. I mean, it seems very butchered. Right? It seems very butchered. It used to be, you know what? Here, go make your movie. Make it a good one. And I just need these things to happen. It's Kevin Feige. I just need these things to happen right here. Like, however you need to do it. And you can do whatever else. Right? Because then, those same writers could come back for the next movie if it's successful. They're all successful, though, now, right? And, do something else. Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely, I'm telling you. Go check these dudes out. We need them back in the MCU. We can boot Taika. We can get... Anyway, the actors did a good job in this movie. And, but again, it feels like it's all just a mishmash. And it all feels like it's kind of for nothing. And, I wasn't really laughing. The humor or anything like that. Like, I didn't feel entertained. This feels very underwhelming. It feels very uninspired. And again, the biggest thing is, it comes back to what Taika did with Thor. And he's just kind of the silly, sarcastic, sitcom humor guy. And that's the thing, is like, he was funny before. You go watch the first couple of Avengers films. You go watch the first couple of Thor movies. He's funny in those movies. Not just all serious. He's funny. He's just not sarcastic, he's not sitcom humor funny, and that's what you like. And I don't like. I just don't dig it. Like, let Thor be Thor. You don't have to do all the... He can still make jokes and do all... Like, he can still do that. I imagine there's a lot of people that are going to like this film. I mean, it's not... Like, here's the thing is... Because, like I was saying... I wanted to say at the start is... Like, Taika Waititi is kind of like... you could take and give somebody the same ingredients to make you a meal and say, here's what I want you to make. Right? Here's what I want you to make is this. And you give them the same ingredients. Like those cook-off shows and stuff. And they go and they make the meal. And here's the thing, is Taika Waititi's meal, like on the plate, it looks great. You look at the other meal and you're like, it doesn't look so great. Presentation is, it's all right. I'd eat it. It doesn't look gross. And then you eat it and it's really, really great. But then you're like, okay, now I'm ready to take a taste of Taika's, right? Because look at this presentation. He's got the, all this and that, proper portions and, people look at that, right? Anyway, but presentation is a lot. Taika nails the presentation, but by the time you dig in and eat the meal, it's just bland. And, maybe some of the things here didn't need to be done. And maybe you could have added some spice and some flavor to this. And it doesn't feel like you did. It seems like all you did was maybe just added some sugar to it and thought people would like it. And I'm sure some people do. There were a lot of things shown and introduced and said in this film that were very interesting, leading into some of the future Marvel stuff. Again, things I have theories about. But altogether, I didn't really enjoy this film whatsoever. These Phase 4 films, while I can't say that there's any of them that I just really hate or dislike, a lot of them are just... You know, that's really all I can say is they're like, it's a movie. And that's really, like I said, like it's kind of like when like when I stopped reading like Marvel comics, like a lot of them, it wasn't because they were bad. I never saw like it was just because like for one there was other comics that I wanted to read that were more important to me, but the other thing is like they weren't bad, but they're just not good, to me. They might be good to you, but they weren't to me, and that's probably the reason I'm like, I'll read them on Marvel Unlimited. Maybe I'll read them on Marvel Unlimited, but I don't know. That's just if you ask me. I didn't like it. Maybe when I go see it a second time, I'm gonna go see it a second time. Maybe it'll be a little bit better on the second watch. I don't know, but again, there's just so many things in this film that like just kind of, man. You know what? There are some things that I'm gonna talk about in a live stream when it comes to this movie. But altogether, I thought it was a movie. It was a movie. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. I would recommend going to see this. Regardless of how I feel about it, I think this is a recommend. I think all movies pretty much are, if you want to form your own opinion on them and have an informed opinion and thought, I guess, is to go out and see them. If it's something that just completely disinterests you, I get it. And if you're really not into this movie just by the advertising and everything, don't go see it. I would suggest waiting, because even at this point, I'm kind of thinking like, man, am I going to go see Black Panther 2 at the theater?